Welcome to your A to Z guide to the 2021 Imola Grand Prix, or as it is officially called, the 2021 Pirelli Gran Premio del Made in Italy Emilia Romagna. Boy, that's a mouthful. Anyways, for the second year running, Imola returns to the Formula One calendar in what will be the second race of the 2021 F1 season. In this video, we'll be breaking down all the circuit info and facts, the race schedule, and everything in between that you need to know ahead of this weekend's race in Imola. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. So without further ado, let's look at the track facts for the Imola circuit. The first Formula One Grand Prix held at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari was all the way back in 1980, and the circuit has been on and off the F1 calendar ever since. The 63-lap race will be contested around the anti-clockwise 4.9-kilometer Imola circuit with 19 corners overall, 10 to the left and 9 to the right. With only one DRS zone but many smaller straights, the downforce level here is rated as medium, with Sector 2 and 3 requiring good grip and aero stability. Like many circuits, pole position is important around Imola, and the starting grid slot for pole is located on the left-hand side of the track. Finally, the average time lost during a pit stop is around 27 seconds during normal racing conditions, while the time lost during a pit stop under safety or virtual safety car conditions is around 17 seconds. This year's race will be the 29th Formula One World Championship race held at Imola, as it has various names over the years such as the San Marino Grand Prix, a name which is much easier to fit on a video title than this year's. Ferrari and Williams are the most successful teams in Imola, with 28% of the victories, taking 8 wins each. McLaren are close behind in second with 6 victories and 21% of the total wins, while Mercedes have only 1 victory around here, which came last season. The only 2 current drivers to have won here at Imola are Lewis Hamilton, who took victory here in 2020, and Fernando Alonso, who won for Renault back in 2005. In terms of the racing, there's only an 11% chance of a safety car historically, as it has only been deployed 3 times around Imola, one of which was in the race here last season. As for the best starting position at Imola, 34% of race winners started on pole, while additionally another 34% went on to win from second on the grid. Starting from outside the top 3 has only yielded 15% of race wins around Imola, as no driver has won from lower than 5th on the grid. 5th place was a great starting position for Nelson Piquet, who won both of his races at the Imola circuit starting from 5th. Of course, no conversation on the history of the Imola circuit is complete without remembering the tragedies of the 1994 race weekend, in which Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna lost their lives. This coming May will mark 27 years since the loss of these 2 great drivers. The short and free practice changes for 2021 have seemed to work quite well judging from the first race in Bahrain, so here are the following start times for the 3 sessions in Italy. As for qualifying and the race, both sessions will begin at 3 p.m. local time in Italy. Here you will find the start times in some different areas around the world, but please do check your local listings for when the sessions begin in your area. Starting off with the weekend notes, let's take a look at the tentative forecast for this weekend in Imola. Imola is a town situated 40 kilometers east of Bologna, and spring is beginning to flourish across many parts of Italy. Temperatures will be cooler as the race is being held in early April, so that should make things interesting for the teams. The projected forecast is a dry weekend, with only a high of 14 degrees Celsius on Sunday. Qualifying is slated to be quite cool as well, with only a high of 13 degrees and heavy cloud cover for the whole session. The chance of rain is no more than 20% on each of the 3 days, but do check back in a couple days' time as the weather is always changing. Let's now take a look at the tires Pirelli will be bringing to Imola. As they did in Bahrain, Pirelli will bring the C2, C3, and C4 tires to this weekend's race, with all drivers having the same allocation of 2 hards, 3 mediums, and 2 softs. In last year's race, the top 3 of Bottas, Hamilton, and Verstappen started on the medium tire, while the winning strategy was a 2-stop completed by Lewis Hamilton. But other drivers were able to pull off a successful 1-stop, in particular 3rd place Daniel Ricciardo. Here are the rest of your weekend notes for the Grand Prix in Imola. So are we on for Verstappen versus Hamilton round 2 this time at Imola? We sure hope the excitement from Bahrain will continue onto this weekend after a lengthy break in between the first and second race. I don't think the gap in qualifying will be as large as it was in Bahrain, but the characteristics of the RB16B suit this Imola circuit. For example, the Red Bulls are able to handle the curbs far better than the Mercedes, and there are plenty of corners in which you need to attack the curbs at Imola, like Acqua Minerale and the Variante Alta corners. Also, in a recent podcast on the race, former F1 car designer Gary Anderson explained how the high-rate car concept used by Red Bull can allow them better exits out of corners and avoid the stalling effect of the diffuser. Downhill braking corners also increases the diffuser stalling phenomena, which is interesting as you'll remember Bottas going wide at Ravazza 1 last season, which led him to getting passed by Verstappen. It will be interesting to see how Mercedes and Red Bull perform at a different style track, which will give us a better indication as to what we can expect for the rest of the season. It will be also interesting to see if Sergio Perez can get in on the action and join his teammate in the fight against the Mercedes, which we didn't see last time out in Bahrain. Elsewhere on the grid, keep a keen eye on AlphaTauri as this is their home track and they are very strong around here like they proved in 2020. They showed great pace in Bahrain, and I expect that to be even better considering the amount of extra laps they've done around Imola. I also see this track suiting the McLarens very well, and the Alfa Romeos who had a double points finish here in 2020, and have already demonstrated throughout the first race that they've made some improvements on the 2020 car. It's really felt like another off-season since the last race in Bahrain, so it's safe to say I'm desperate to see cars back out on the track in a few days' time. That'll do it for the 2021 A to Z guide to the Imola Grand Prix, and I hope that you enjoyed this preview. I'd love to hear your weekend predictions, so drop them down below in the comments, and what you're expecting from race number 2 of the 2021 season. If you have any content suggestions or recommendations, also drop those in the comments below or reach out to us via social media. If you'd like to support our channel, consider a donation using the links found in the description, or by liking this video and subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you guys after the race.